The ballroom's hush was absolute, a velvet void swallowing laughter and clinking glasses as Arabella Montague placed the sapphire ring on the marble table with deliberate grace. Lord Reginald Fitzroy's boast still echoed in her ears. 5 weeks, lads, and she was mine for the taking. His cronies' smirks freezing into masks of unease under the chandelier's glare. Arabella's posture remained impeccable, her auburn curls framing a face etched with quiet command, hazel eyes locking on Reginald's paling features without a flicker of tears. The room, packed with London's elite in their silks and brocades, parted like a sea before her as she gathered her shawl, the rustle of fabric the only sound piercing the tension. She stepped toward the grand doors, the winter chill seeping through the cracks, her mind already weaving threads of retribution from the tatters of her shattered trust. In the carriage jolting over cobblestones, rain lashing the windows like accusations, Arabella traced the bare indentation on her finger. 11 days. That's how long the ring had mocked her with its false promise. She had believed Reginald's pursuit, his whispered devotions at garden parties and stolen glances across crowded salons, to be genuine selection in a world that had relegated her to the shadows after her father's untimely death. The Montague fortune had vanished to distant cousins, leaving her a poor relation in Aunt Beatrice's modest Kensington home, present at events, yet invisible, like a well-placed vase. But Reginald had seen her, or so she thought, with his dashing smile and tales of continental adventures, drawing her into a whirlwind courtship that ended in this public farce. Aunt Beatrice awaited her in the dimly lit parlor, her lined face stern yet softened by the fire's glow. "Child, what storm brings you back so early?" she asked, pressing a tumbler of brandy into Arabella's chilled hands. Arabella sipped, the warmth spreading like resolve, and recounted the wager. £80, not the 30 Reginald had bragged. A bet among gentlemen to ensnare a respectable woman swiftly. Beatrice's eyes narrowed, her Scottish brogue thickening with disdain. The cad's not just cruel, he's miserly too. They sat in companionable silence, the clock ticking like a heartbeat, as Arabella's fury coalesced into purpose. Grief hovered at the edges, the sting of opened vulnerabilities, but she pushed it aside. Tomorrow, she would seek answers from the one man in that room who hadn't laughed. Lord Alastair Drummond, the enigmatic Earl of Glenmore. As dawn crept through the curtains, Arabella rose, donning her sturdiest walking dress, a deep burgundy wool that hugged her form with quiet authority. Her reflection in the mirror showed a woman transformed, no longer the overlooked debutante, but one with the poised defiance of a strategist. What would you do, faced with such raw exposure? Comment below. Your thoughts might echo the battles yet to come. Arabella's days in Kensington blurred into a rhythm of quiet defiance, her mornings spent poring over society columns in Beatrice's sun-dappled morning room. The papers spun a sanitized tale. Miss Montague had ended the engagement amicably, citing temperamental differences, with Lord Fitzroy graciously acquiescing. She almost admired the speed of his cover-up, a veil drawn over his cruelty within hours. But beneath her composed exterior, desires warred, yearning for justice against the fear of further isolation. Her father's death 5 years prior had stripped her of security. Now, this betrayal clawed at her core wound, the terror of being unseen, unloved, truly. Beatrice, with her tartan shawls and unyielding pragmatism honed from widowhood, became her anchor. "Lass, men like Fitzroy thrive on silence," she advised over porridge, her grey eyes sharp. "Break it wisely." Arabella nodded, sketching notes on the witnesses. Lord Percival Hawthorne, vain and loose-tongued. Sir Edmund Blackwell, quietly ashamed. And Lord Alastair Drummond, whose dark gaze had held steady, unamused. Drummond intrigued her most, a Scottish earl known for his reclusive intellect, rumors swirling of vast libraries and a patience like weathered stone. Had he wagered too? The question gnawed, fueling her resolve. Evenings brought recollections of the courtship's illusions. Reginald had dazzled at the autumn soirees, his French-influenced charm, elegant cravats, tales of Parisian salons, making her feel chosen. She had quoted Voltaire at dinners, mended a parasol with deft hands, laughed at ironies others missed. Now, those moments soured, secrets surfacing. His fleeting touches, promises of a life beyond poverty's grip. Yet, a spark of empathy lingered for her former self, the girl who dared hope. As snow dusted the streets, Arabella walked the parks alone, breath fogging the air, her posture erect against the wind. Relationships frayed, old acquaintances sent pitying notes, but in solitude, her fears crystallized. Without action, she'd remain furniture in society's grand hall. One afternoon, a letter arrived from a distant cousin, inquiring about the unfortunate matter. It stung, but ignited intrigue. Whispers of Reginald's other indiscretions hinted at patterns. Arabella's internal flaw, her armored heart, began to crack, admitting the need for allies. She confided in Beatrice, who brewed strong tea and listened. "Go to Drummond," Beatrice urged. His silence last night spoke volumes. As twilight fell, Arabella penned a note, her quill steady, sealing her intent to confront the unknown. The knocker's echo on Glenmore House's door reverberated through Arabella like a challenge, the Mayfair mansion's facade imposing under leaden skies. Unchaperoned at 8 in the morning, she defied convention, her best bonnet angled like armor. The butler ushered her into the library, shelves groaning with tomes, the air thick with leather and ink. Lord Alastair Drummond stood by the window, sleeves rolled, collar askew, his tall frame radiating a quiet intensity. Dark hair tousled, green eyes assessing her with unnerving depth. "You knew," Arabella declared, foregoing pleasantries. Alastair paused, then admitted, "Yes." 3 weeks, he revealed, overheard at his club. "Why nothing?" she pressed, voice edged. He confessed his inaction's logic. Interfering without proof would humiliate her, but conceded its moral failure. Startled by his candor, Arabella shifted. "I need details. The wager, participants, any vulnerabilities in Fitzroy." Alastair's expression flickered, almost admiring. "You mean to ruin him?" "Balance the scales," she corrected. He sat, gesturing her opposite, outlining Reginald's debts. A shady lender, a gambling loss to a visiting comte, a political favor to a parliamentarian. No documents, but his memory was precise, painting Reginald as carelessly entitled. Arabella noted it all in her pocketbook, a twist emerging. Sir Edmund Blackwell knew of the politics. As she rose, Alastair's gaze held hers. "Did you wager?" "No," he said firmly. "It repulsed me." Trust flickered, a romantic spark unintended. She proposed alliance, her resolve for his insights. He agreed, a decision sealing their fates, as outside, carriages rumbled like approaching storms. Meetings evolved into strategy sessions at a discreet Bloomsbury tea house, Beatrice chaperoning with feigned disinterest. Alastair provided Ledger's whispers, Reginald's £80 pot, Hawthorne's contribution, Blackwell's refusal. Obstacles mounted. Society buzzed with Reginald's polished narrative. Invitations dwindled for Arabella. Yet, bonds deepened. Alastair's tales of Scottish Highlands, his library's wonders, revealed a man wounded by past losses, a mother's early death, a brother's betrayal. A red herring surfaced, a note warning Arabella off, unsigned but scented with Reginald's cologne. It frustrated, but fueled hope as they uncovered another victim, Miss Genevieve Laurent, a French émigré whose reputation Reginald had tarnished for leverage. Genevieve met them covertly, her story mirroring Arabella's, implied promises, sudden discard. "He collects conquests like stamps," she whispered. Alistair's hand brushed Arabella's in reassurance, a charged moment amid the tension. Growth came in quiet walks, where Arabella shared fears of perpetual solitude. Alistair listened, his patience eroding her guards. A dinner invitation arrived, Lord Waverley's, where Reginald would attend with the parliamentarian. "Our chance," Alistair said. Arabella agreed, conditions firm, equality, no ornamentation. As snow swirled, hope mingled with frustration. Reginald's resilience loomed, but their alliance promised more than justice, a tentative intimacy. Would you forge ahead despite the whispers? Share your thoughts below. The Waverley dinner glittered with crystal and intrigue, Arabella in sapphire velvet, her presence a calculated strike. Reginald arrived with a new companion, his scan halting on her beside Alistair. Courses unfolded tensely. Arabella conversed brilliantly on art and politics, drawing admiring glances. Over port, Reginald leaned in, "No resentment, do." "None," she replied coolly. "Attachments require substance." The table stilled, betrayal's echo rippling. His companion, Miss Genevieve? No, another, Miss Felicity Thorne. Her glance at Arabella one of shared recognition. Later, Felicity confessed in the powder room. 4 months of implications, a ruined season via fabricated scandal. Revelation struck, Reginald's pattern spanned years, at least 3 others. Alistair's regrets surfaced that night. "I knew fragments, did nothing." Vulnerability peaked as he admitted past inaction's guilt. Shifting beliefs, Arabella saw him not as aloof, but scarred. Stakes soared, society papers hinted at rifts, Reginald's threats implied. Passion ignited in a stolen garden moment, Alistair's touch electric, but Arabella pulled back, fears raw. "Trust is fragile," she murmured. The alliance deepened, now laced with unspoken desire, as they vowed to rally victims amid mounting desperation. Setbacks cascaded like December sleet. Reginald's influence blocked invitations, whispers branding Arabella unstable. Genevieve withdrew, fearing reprisal. Felicity's family pressured silence. Alone in Kensington, Arabella confronted doubts. Her plan crumbling, isolation absolute. Beatrice urged persistence, but hopelessness gripped. "What if I'm just another fool?" A direct threat arrived. Reginald at her door, charm masking menace. "Cease this nonsense, or your aunt's home suffers." He revealed Alistair's secret, a youthful scandal, buried but exploitable. Despair deepened. Arabella questioned their bond, storming to Glenmore. "You withheld this." Accusations flew, Alistair defending, "It changes nothing." But she fled, heart fracturing, the world closing in. In the icy night, fears overwhelmed, perpetual aloneness, failure's weight. Hopelessness peaked, her composure shattering in private tears, the alliance teetering on ruin. Dawn brought clarity. Arabella returned to Glenmore, finding Alistair poring over maps. "We end this together," she declared. Inner strength surged as he confessed love stirrings. "From your first question, you've upended my world." Realizations flowed. Her fears stemmed from past wounds, his from inaction's regrets. They reunited victims. Genevieve recommitted. Felicity brought a widow ally with parliamentary ties. An irreversible choice. Expose at a grand ball. Hope kindled in shared vulnerability. A kiss tentative yet profound in the library's glow. Courage bloomed. Subplots aligned. Set up for finale as invitations secured. The turning point sealed. Their bond, once strategic, now unbreakable. The Yuletide ball pulsed with opulence, candles flickering like secrets. Arabella, in crimson silk, entered with Alistair, eyes turning. Reginald, cornered by whispers, approached smugly. But victims converged. Genevieve's account to the parliamentarian, Felicity's to hosts, the widow's inquiry detonating his debts publicly. Confrontation erupted in the anteroom. Reginald accused sabotage, but proofs mounted, ledgers, letters. Heroic twists. Alistair revealed his scandal voluntarily, disarming threats. Arabella's eloquence swayed the assembly. Reginald's empire crumbled, patronage withdrawn, clubs resigned. Relief washed as he fled, defeated. Triumph echoed in cheers, emotional detonation cathartic, bonds forged in fire. Spring unfurled in Glenmore's gardens, crocuses blooming as Arabella and Alistair wed quietly, 30 guests witnessing their joy. Subplots resolved, victims thrived, Reginald a diminished footnote in rural exile. Growth shone, Arabella's wounds healed through trust, Alistair's patience rewarded with partnership. They strolled amid roses, his journal entry from their first meeting shared. She plans with Fury's grace, remarkable indeed. Fulfillment radiated in evenings of debates, walks of tenderness. Hope lingered, a life shaped by choice, not chance. Joy enveloped them, the world vast and theirs. How did this resolution resonate with you? Comment below and subscribe for more tales of triumph.